You got to know what's going on with how sound works and how the sound waves come back up to the transducer, what you're really seeing. And then once you see it, you got to figure out, are them fish really active, or am I just seeing bait fish? Or there's so many things to understand. And folks, picking up the Bible and reading it, you do have to understand how to rightly divide it. And it's not rocket science, but it takes time. Because, I know people that will take a verse, grab it from a particular book, and say, the Bible says this. And yes, they're right. But are you interpreting it right? Are you applying it right? Was he speaking to somebody in particular? How does that apply to today? So the Bible is really an amazing book, and it's worth your time to continue in it. And I'm not saying you got to cover it from beginning to end, and it's not a race to get it done. It is a quality time. One of the biggest things I've learned in the Bible at 56 is the relationship factor of knowing Jesus Christ. That is probably the biggest thing. When I grew up, I went to a good school. I went to a school that they taught me the plan of salvation, and they had good standards. And somehow I missed the point on the rules. I used to despise hypocrites and hypocrisy, but the whole time I was being one of the biggest ones. And I hate that. It's not about the rules every time. It's about knowing the person who gave the rules. And then once you begin to see Him, you can't help it, but you're going to see yourself. And that's when things start changing. I've said this many times in times that I've preached, but one of the biggest things is when people actually got their first glimpse or perception or view of God, vision, whatever you want to call it, the first thing they see, they're awestruck at His power, His majesty, His sovereignty. They see it for the first time. But the second thing that they see is themselves. And so when I say relationship, that's exactly what I'm talking about. So, hang on a second. What is it, babe?